I am LaMarsha Lewis. Let's talk. Happy Monday. Today is February the 21st, 2021. So I hope you have had an awesome and marvelous Monday. We're going to do some commentary about Alyssa Farrah Griffin. Who is she? We're going to get some information. As we know, in my favorite all-time show, The View, which I'm hoping to one day be a guest co-host, just to be able to come on and be interviewed, have conversations with the ladies. I love the ladies. But as we know, they are looking for their fifth co-host, which is they are looking for a conservative, one from the Republican Party, because as of last season, ending of season 24, Meghan McCain, John McCain's daughter, did us all a humongous, huge favor, made all of our day when she announced that she would not be returning for season 25. So they did not, and I'm grateful for that. The fact that Miss Kim Godwin and executive producer Brian Tedder, who's always out there with the ladies, they did not immediately get a replacement like they did when Sarah Hayne had left when she went to do the GMA Day with herself and Michael Strahan, and then it went to Sarah Strahan, then Sarah Strahan and Keke Palmer. And then, as we know, the pandemic and all that, so they show got canceled, and they put on like a more of a health show where various doctors and things were talking about COVID and the pandemic. And Sarah has been blessed to come back and is back at the table at The View. So Meghan left again the end of season 24. They have been doing what they call a rotating of series of guest co-hosts where ladies have been coming on. It started back around the end of 2021 where they had most ladies to come on and do like 2 days of what they call chemistry testing live, because as we know, The View is recorded live. And since then, they've had some people to come back. Tara Sefmeyer also came back. She was actually there on February the 1st and February the 2nd. I love Tara Sefmeyer. I love Ana Navarro. Tara Sefmeyer did announce to us at the end of last year, 2021, that she left the Republican Party. She now considers herself an independent, but she had been a Republican for many, many years, and she has been very strong on her Republican and conservative views. Ana Navarro, who is the fill-in guest co-host, she's there on Friday because, as we know, Whoopi Goldberg, the moderator, is out on Friday, and normally Anna also fills in during the week when one of the ladies are out, or as she has been doing with, again, they have not yet filled that fifth chair with the absence of Meghan McCain leaving, so Anna fills in quite frequently during the week. Many have said, I've been one, I would like to see Ana Navarro get the permanent co-host. This is my philosophy or my thought perspective. Why go search outside the house when you have someone inside the house? When the talent, the gifts, the skills are already right there, and they're every Friday at the table. And like I say, quite often, many days during the week. Ana Navarro. Anna is still in the Republican Party, but some like to say, well, they feel like maybe the reason Anna's not getting, because she's more like the ladies who are mostly, the panel's mostly liberal. Whoopi Goldberg being the moderator. Joy Behar has been there with the show from the beginning. She had gotten fired, but they called her back, and she's been there since. She's the oldest person at the table. Sonny Hostin, who's a former prosecutor, very, very smart and intelligent, quick on her whip, always gonna hold everybody accountable, and she speaks to the issue, especially when it comes to the Black community. And Sarah Haynes is there. Like I say, Ana Navarro is still Republican, belongs to the Republican Party. She would be who I would go with. And of course, hands down, Tara Sefmeyer. I have always loved Tara Sefmeyer because she's also a very smart, intelligent lady. But they're doing their testing, and from what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing, supposedly or allegedly, I guess we can say, who seems to be maybe the front runner, seems to be, some have said, shining bright, Alyssa Farrah Griffin now, because she recently got married as sometime in last November. And I'm gonna play a clip that she some information that she shared when she was recently back co-hosting for her second time. She guest co-hosted, Alyssa guest co-hosted October the 4th, which was on a Monday, and October the 5th, which was on a Tuesday. That was her first time with her doing the potential person to replace Meghan McCain, giving her shot to guest co-host. She's been back. She was back for 4 days. Tuesday, February the 8th, Wednesday, February the 9th, Thursday, February the 10th, Friday, February the 11th. She got 4 days. I don't know why, but 4 days. So that gave her a lot of time. And I got to say, in just being honest and being fair, because this is, I'm a YouTube blogger, aspiring influencer. It's most definitely inspiring to be a TV talk show host myself. So you can't be biased. You just have to be real and honest. She do seem to be doing a good job. She's very active, and as we know, the segments they go quick. I think it's like 5 minutes. And segment, like I said, if you got 5 ladies, basically everybody got a minute at the most, maybe a minute and a half, to kind of get out your talking point regarding on whatever the subject matter that the ladies may be discussing at that point in time. So Alyssa do seem to be doing a good job at that. She engages with the ladies. She laughs a lot. She smiles. She seems to be able to just roll with the flow, because as we know, they often change for various topics. They don't. The View is the #1 TV political talk show with 5 ladies doing this, bringing it to our homes every day, live studio audience. So therefore, she is really engaging well. And again, they mostly talk about politics and things of that nature, but they also talk about pop culture and just whatever else that may be a subject matter that they decide they want to talk about. So she's 32 years old. So as they would say, she's a millennial. So I want to play this clip because we're gonna play it, and I want you to listen to it. Let's see here.
My toxic mom from my wedding. That was a question from a reader recently posed to the advice column Deirdre. She claims that her mother has made her life miserable for years, and she's afraid her behavior will ruin her special day. So how should you deal with a toxic person? I'm going to start with you, Alyssa. What would you do?
Well, so I recently got married back in November, and this is such a tough topic. So keep in mind 2 things. COVID has made people shrink their friend groups, their family groups. People aren't being around each other if they're not open to getting vaccinated. Add to that political polarization. So in my situation, personally, I had to deal with 2 people very close to me, my father and stepmother, who didn't want to attend my wedding.
Why?
Political differences after I spoke out against President Trump.
Oh, boy.
And to me, the answer was simple. Like, I love them. They're welcome to be there on my end. But if they didn't want to be there, why would I interrupt my special day by trying to have them there? And I'm not alone. I've got a number of girlfriends who face similar things. Political polarization, just harming families, tearing people apart.
So your father's in the cult.
Unfortunately, I mean, listen, the MAGA strength runs really far and deep. And
But that's a day where, honestly, that's a day where if you love the family member getting married, you've got to put this stuff away. Listen, Al's niece was a spokesperson for the campaign. He adores her. She got married, and we went because we love her. And so for that day, it's all about the bride and groom.
That's really, unfortunately for you. But did you miss him?
Listen, I enjoyed my wedding. I got to be with my new family.
Exactly.
So yeah, she announced that, and it was after she made that announcement on The View. Of course, that was a trending subject on the internet, in Twitter and all of that, on social media platforms. Alyssa Farrah announces her dad didn't attend her wedding because of she pushed back against the former guy, 45, twice impeached, one-term president who incited an insurrection and attempted a coup on our democracy, and that we're still looking for him and his family to be held accountable, and all parties that played a part of January the 6th, 2021. But I'm like, okay, how odd. Well, not necessarily odd. It's not what I want to say. How ironic. They talked about what Joy mentioned, about the toxic and it says, should toxic family member be banned from weddings? And again, of course, I see why Joy immediately pivoted the question to Alyssa, because like she said, she's recently got married in November. So therefore, I would have done the same thing to pivot it to her for her to give the first response, and then to a recent newlywed. But I like how ironic for her to make that announcement on The View. She had to have known, okay, this gonna get me trending, this gonna get me in there. And as I've heard other bloggers say, can you imagine the phone calls she got after making that statement, making that known, and meaning that most likely from her stepfather from her father and her stepmother, because she said her dad and stepmother didn't want to come to her wedding because she basically pushed back against the former guy. And Joy said, oh, so he's a part of the cult. Joy being Joy. You gotta love Joy Behar. And she didn't know. She was just, well, unfortunately so. She acknowledged, yeah, her dad, her stepmom is a part of the cult. And Anna Navarro also mentioned how her husband's niece, excuse me, recently got married to, and she's saying she was a part of the campaign. So obviously she too is a Trump supporter. But like she said, it goes, special occasion like that, you should be able to put aside whatever your political differences, and you be supportive to who that person is, that family member that you supposedly love or should love if it's your family member, and give your support. So Alyssa, like I said, that really, I think, really put her out there, and because, like I said, it became a trending topic. And Joy said, well, did she regret it? She said, well, I enjoyed my wedding and my new family, so I thought that was awesome. And she gave a good response. Like I said, she really seems to engage well with the ladies. So, and like I said, she do seem to be shining that forerunner. But again, I'm sure we're gonna be seeing some other people also coming back for a second shot at the conservative seat at the table. But to me, just giving my opinion, because this is I Am LaMarsha Lewis, Let's Talk, she seems comfortable at the table with the ladies. She seems confident in herself. She's able to go out there and give her thoughts. She does it respectfully. Like I said, sometimes it's hard to get in, because I saw sometimes she would be trying to get her point in, then she have to step back. But she did it again. She's been very respectful and professional to the ladies, and when she got her shot to give her point of view, she does. And if it was sometimes if they got some pushback, or Sunny Hostin is gonna always give you the pushback, and Joy often does it as well. But there has been no rudeness or no disrespect. She listens, and she even said, well, I agree with you. She often, with Anna also being a Republican, I'm always, she was saying, I agree with you. So she's really, she's shining. I have to just be honest. This is my concern. I see out there, because, when you doing things like this commentary, you out there creeping on various social media platforms. And I saw where Meghan McCain is a follower of hers on her Instagram. Meghan seems to have liked a lot of her posts, pictures, and things like that, because Instagram is a lot of pictures, and sometimes you get videos and things like that. But that's my concern. I don't know if the ABC executive, Ms. Kim Gotwell, who is the president of ABC, Mr. Brian Tedder, who is the executive executive producer at The View, I don't know if they are aware of the connection of former Meghan McCain. And we all know we do not want a repeat of Meghan McCain, John McCain's daughter. She was disrespectful. She was rude. She was obnoxious. And she was snarky and so self-entitled. She seemed to have thought it was the Meghan McCain show. So that's my concern. And as I heard another blogger say as well, she's kind of like, she would be okay if Alyssa is the person they choose to fulfill the seat of Meghan. She said, I just hope she don't do like Meghan, because she said she once was a supporter, a fan of Meghan, to Meghan, basically showed us who she are. Got there after a few months and after signing the contract, when she got comfortable and showed us who she is. And so that is my concern, seeing that again, that Meghan is out there. I guess, I don't know if they're friends. I don't know if they have a personal association. Just the fact of seeing where Meghan has liked a lot of her posts on Instagram, it lets me know there is a connection to the person that she potentially may be replacing, filling the seat of, Meghan McCain. Again, we do not want, nor do we need, another Meghan McCain. So this is why Miss Kim Godwin, this is why Mr. Brian Taylor are being very, very selective and very, very cautious in filling that seat, that replacement. So it says her name is Alyssa Alexandra Farrah. She was born June the 15th, 1989, is an American political advisor who was White House Director of Strategy Communication and assistant to the president in the Trump administration in 2020. In 2021, Farrah joined CNN as a political commentator. And like I say, just from seeing her those last 4 days on The View, when she was on there February the 8th through the 11th, Tuesday through Friday, she seems, like I say, in my opinion, she was like, I'm like Sonny, I'm like Sarah, I'm like Jordan, I'm like Whoopi, I'm like Anna. Hey, I belong at this table. I am a co-host. It's like she already comfortable in her skin and already, in my opinion, gave the appearance like, I am the new co-host. I did replace Meghan McCain. I got this job. The job is mine. Or if she knows it's hers. I mean, that's just the vibe that she is giving off in the persona that I got from Alyssa. She was showing us a lot of skin. Because she sits at the end of the table, so therefore facing the audience in the cameras. She had twice of the week I saw what she had on like long dresses or skirts, but her legs was crossed and she was showing us a lot of skin. So I'm like, okay, Alyssa, I'm seeing you, I'm feeling you. And as long as she can come out there, and if she is the person that gets the job, that conservative seat, don't switch up on us. Don't become a Meghan McCain. Do not. But let me just kind of give you some rundowns, because she talked about, I need to play that clip as well, how she was her dream job, and then she got asked to become part of the Trump administration. It says, let me go back. Farrah was press secretary for U.S. Vice President Mike Pence and special assistant to Donald Trump from 2017 to 2019. Farrah is the first person to serve as the top spokesperson for the president, vice president, and secretary of defense in one administration. She was the youngest. So like I said, she's currently 32. So she was like in her early 30s, maybe even like late 20s, and she's had some awesome, amazing job. And she's from Los Angeles. It says, third White House Director of Strategy Communication, in office April the 7th, 2020 through December 4th, 2020. President Donald Trump preceded Mercedes Scaplet and succeeded by, and it's saying that basically the seat is vacant. No one has filled it. Press Secretary of Department of Defense, in office September 2019 through April the 7th, 2020, which is when she went on to be, and as she's told on The View, that her dream job, White House Director of, I think her dream job was Defense, Department of Defense. That was her dream job, yeah. her dream job was Department of Defense, but then she got asked and she went on to be a part of the Trump administration. And after the election results, after the 2020 election result, and when Donald Trump just went with this big lie that the election was stolen, which we know that it wasn't. It's been debunked over and over, and he's lost every court case that he's tried to have the ballots recounted and all of that. We had a fair and clear election. Joe Biden is our legitimate 46th president. But in her defense of not supporting Donald J. Trump in the big lie, she resigned from her post December 4th of 2020. This says press secretary to vice president in office October 17th through September 2019, Vice President Mike Pence. Preceded by Mark Lauder, succeeded by Katie Wallman. And she recently married in November, and her husband's name is Justin Griffin. Let me see if I can find the clip where she was telling the ladies her dream job and all this. Here we go. Let's see. Let's see if we can find that clip I want to play. I have so many. It seems like my voice is trying to leave me as well, but I have so many.
A few things. So I was asked to serve in the Trump White House in April of 2020. So the height of the pandemic. I was actually the Department of Defense press secretary before then. It was my dream job, speaking on behalf of the U.S. Armed Forces. But I was asked to go and serve. We were dealing with unprecedented crises in this country. We were hearing that we were going to have a Pearl Harbor a day of loss of life. Oh. And I thought if there was anything I could do to even marginally help, I couldn't say no. I ended up staying for 7 months through the election. I hadn't originally intended to stay the whole time. Right. And let me be honest with you, it was extremely challenging. I think you guys have a sense of what it could have been, what it was like in there. You know, a lot of the books are accurate, some aren't, but I strongly believe in public service. If a Democrat administration asked me to serve, if a Republican one did, I would say yes and I would go in. So I'm proud of what I did there. I always gave my best counsel to the president. Sometimes that meant being sort of the skunk at the garden party and being the person saying, can we not do that? Maybe don't do that. Maybe wear a mask. But that's the job. That's the job we sign up for. And I went in knowing any day I could be fired, I could be let go at will. But my duty was to serve the American public and to serve the country. And I did my best to do that.
I have to say, though, like when I think about it, you join in April 2020. That's like 4 years in. We know who he was. How do you do that?
So I did.
Right?
I mean, no, it's
I'm sure people. It's a fair question. I mean, you know who this person is.
Yeah.
He's the person that is grabbing by the you know what,
well,
and you're working for him.
I didn't have any illusions about who the president was. So I should go back further. I was Vice President Pence's press secretary for 2 years. So I was tangentially working with the Trump White House, different building, but serving a very different man.
Well, you're not working for Darth Vader, but you're a stormtrooper.
It's actually very well said. I will say this. I believed strongly in his economic agenda. I believed in his national security agenda. My background is national defense. I believe now under Biden, we're seeing the challenges of not having a strong national defense. But I had no illusions about the man that Donald Trump was. My general POV was, if not me, then who? I don't think it would have been a good thing to have a federal government for 4 years once Donald Trump was the commander-in-chief staffed by Steve Bannon's or Steve Bannon miniatures. I think having people of good conscience who believe in public service, who believe in working with Democrats, working with independents in those roles is a good thing, not a bad thing. And I've got to say this, 74 million Americans voted for Donald Trump. He didn't win. Just to be clear, he did not win, to anybody who has any concerns about that. But most of those people are good, honest, hardworking people who love this country, who voted for certain aspects of his agenda. Usually, I think it's the economic message, to be honest. And one thing I would know, a lot of my family, I would say, is middle class. Under Trump, I know one family member in particular, their 401k went up by 24%. That is a real investment in their retirement and the ability to
Who's back?
Say that again?
But on whose back?
Oh, that's fair.
That's the question. I think that's the question. I'm sorry.
No, that's fair. And we did prioritize. So I give a lot of credit to some of the smart staff around Donald Trump. So Larry Kudlow was somebody I believed a lot. Andrew Ullman, who's actually his deputy. These are smart Bush-era policymakers who tried to create the most inclusive economy in American history. And we got there. But the problem was you couldn't get away from things like the Muslim ban or what looked like bigoted policies on the border.
Hundreds of thousands of people died from a pandemic that didn't have to.
So, like I had said earlier, Sunny Hostin pushing back, and that was her first day, which was October the 4th, Monday, where she was guest co-hosting, giving the run for again at this opportunity to replace Meghan McCain. So she's back. She's had 4 days to give a second shot. She's again seems to be the front runner from what I'm hearing and seeing and reading online. I like her so far. Again, as long as she don't switch up on us and change like Meghan McCain, she does seem to be respectful to the ladies. Again, she seemed to be comfortable in her own skin. She speak what her perspective, just like when Sunny asked her, but you joined in April 2020, so we basically were 4 years in, because we know Trump went in 2017. You knew who he was, so like why would you choose? And when she gave the background, she was, well, let me give a little basically, I guess, a disclosure. Why was Vice President Pence press secretary? But again, when you leaving, as she said, her dream job and she said she's a public servant and all of that, from being at the Department of Defense, and you get asked to go work for Trump administration. I'm like, Sonny, why? But she stood her ground. She gave her perspective. And people always want to talk about Trump's policy. But again, I can't get past the man. Like Sonny said, he said to women, grab him by the vagina. He's cheating on all three wives, paid $90,000 to a porn star. He berates women, and yet you still, I'm sorry. And she also gave this disclaimer, her background is public servant. Any opportunity, whether it didn't really matter to her, regardless as that it was a Republican Party. She said if a Democratic Party asked her to serve, she would. And okay, but who wouldn't? A job of that distinguished, somebody asked me, I'm going to, but not. I don't think I could do Republican, especially those with the cult of Trump. But like I said, if she does not change up from who she's presenting now, because people can present what they want us to perceive and think, but then have, like I said, when they get comfortable, they can switch up and let us know who they really are. So we shall see. It has not been announced yet. I don't know when, because like I said, I look to see other people still have the opportunity to come back and guest co-hosts to be also chemistry testing for the seat to replace Meghan McCain. So Alyssa Farrah Griffin. I'm LaMarsha Lewis. Let's talk.